Hey, my name's James Nicholson. There's a big update on the EPCs, the Energy Performance Certificates. You're going to want to watch this if you're a landlord, even if you're a tenant. It's great to know what's going on in the market because this impacts everybody. So before we jump into that, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification. We're on the way to 7,000 subscribers now. 6,200 of you have subscribed. And we're getting 80,000 views every single month now. That's constantly going up. And how you can help me get more views is just smash the like button. It'll take you 2 seconds. Smash the like button right there because that really helps us with the YouTube gods. So, energy performance certificates. What a shambles this has been. So, look, I have children. I want the world to be a better place for my children to live in. Absolutely, I do. But the government is trying to roll out something called energy performance certificates. In fact, we already have those, right? And so they go, I think, from G up to A, with A being the best that you could possibly achieve. And an A is pretty much impossible to hit. Even I've seen new builds that have ground source heat pumps, solar, all sorts of things, and it's still very, very, very hard to hit. And so what they're saying is that right now, if your property is lower than an E, then you can't rent it out. And E basically means that you have no insulation, probably single brick, no double glazing. It's just cold in that property. And so that is something that we need to really look at fixing. So right now we've got that level at E. Now, the government has set an ambitious target of making all landlords comply with a level C by 2025. That's what it was, right? That's what it was. It was 2025. So 2 years from now, they were saying landlords had to get their energy performance certificate up to a level C. Now, C is very energy efficient. It's tough to get. It's green on their chart, showing you how energy efficient that is. Now, that's a really tough measure to hit. So they changed the goalposts. And then they started talking about 2028. Now, the problem with all of this was, I don't know one landlord, not one, there probably is some, but I don't know one, and I know hundreds. I don't know one landlord that had done any work that would move them up the level unless they were doing a refurbishment. So when we've done refurbishments, which we've done a lot in the last few years, we have added insulation. And so we've got a 1-bedroom flat in Dorking, and the back bedroom in that property was single brick. I used to live there for a period of time. It was freezing in the winter, absolutely freezing. And so we put insulated plasterboard into that and other insulation. We insulated on the floorboards. We couldn't, and we did a little bit on the ceiling because it had high ceilings, but not so much there. But we added double glazing to that property. And we did that when we were doing the refurbishment. So landlords have been doing it when they're doing refurbishments, but outside that. So I've got other properties that I've refurbished years ago, like a decade ago. I'm not looking to improve those right now because the government hasn't given us any clarity. So what their second phase was, phase one was 2025, right? So 2025, we had to have it as level C. 0 people or 1%, I don't know how much, but almost 0 did anything about it unless they were doing works. Then about 6 months ago, the government said, you know what? We don't really know how we're going to enforce this yet. So let's move this back till 2028, 5 more years from now. So trust me, landlords and other people are just going to wait. Now, here's what they said about the 2028 thing. They said, you've got to get it as close to a level C as you can, because realistically, some people cannot get a property to a level C. If you've got a Victorian property that is listed and you've got sash windows and single brick walls, you're not going to get it to level C. It's really, really going to be tough to do that. Especially if you've got some bedrooms that are small. If you put the insulated plasterboard in that we did, that takes feet off the room. Like, it really takes a lot of square space off the room. So then it might not be able to be classed as a bedroom. You've got all these sorts of issues along the line. So they said by 2028, you've got to get it to level C or as close as you can. But if not, you've got to show us that you spent 10 grand to do that, right? And there was a suggestion that there would be loans that you could borrow on your mortgage. You basically could extend your mortgage so you wouldn't feel the pain of doing that. Now, problem was, it didn't have a fixed date. It's something that's still going through Parliament, something that they're talking about. And so, again, nobody moved, because what happens if I spend money today, right? So let's just say I put some solar into one of my properties today. Then they say, well, actually, you did that on this date, but the 10 grand was stuff that you spent between 24 and 2028. And so my solar didn't count. So people, because they don't have the rules, they don't know how this works, they're not doing the work. And this is the big problem with the EPC stuff as far as I see it. If you don't give clarity, you don't say, these are the laws, these are what we're going to do, you keep changing the date like this, that's going to be a big problem. Now, the point of this video is they've just made a massive change on this. And so Michael Gove is the Levelling Up Minister and the Housing Minister. And he's come out and said, we need to postpone this. Like 2028 is still too much. Landlords are under too much pressure. I agree. You think with rising interest rates, with Section 24 and difficulties that we've got in the market with house prices potentially coming down, why would we put another burden on landlords? And so he's saying that we just need to do this in the future. And now the problem is, when is that? When is that future? We have no idea. And so the government has gone from being clear, saying it's 2025, and that was pretty clear, but all landlords were just waiting, to bit murky here. We'll move it to 2028. We're saying you've got to spend 10 grand, but when that 10 grand gets spent, we don't know. And so there was no clarity on that. That's not good either. And now it's just a case of, when shall we do this? When shall we do this? And so what's going to happen right now is no one's going to do the work. Nobody is going to do this work until there is clarity. Now, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think there are some mortgages out there that give you a slightly better rate if you've got a good EPC. Obviously, if you've got an HMO, you're going to save on your energy costs. I think it's good that people save on energy costs anyway, because that's really one of the bigger problems that we've been relying on energy from overseas. So if we can cut our energy consumption down, that makes the UK economy a little less volatile. So that's good. And I think, look, making the planet greener is good. I drive an electric car, so I do see positives in this. What I'm saying is, by making this statement and saying we should just move it, we don't have a date, what's going to happen? I promise you, not many landlords, I guarantee you this, it's going to be less than 1% of landlords are doing anything at all right now going forward after hearing something like that to adjust their EPCs. So this essentially, if you're a landlord that's struggling right now, you're worried about interest rate rises, this is good news, isn't it? Like, it is good news. It's not so good for the environment, but it is good news for struggling landlords. And that's a good thing. It might keep some extra in the market. But what do you think about this? The government doesn't really have a strategy, do they? That's my opinion. Just saying now it's open-ended. Who knows when we're going to get it done? That's not going to help anyone. So do comment below with your thoughts on this. Do you worry about your EPCs? What are you going to do about it? Let me know if you're a landlord already. Are you starting this work, or are you going to wait? I'm going to wait. As I said, as I do refurbishments, I will improve my EPCs for sure. If there's some quick wins, then I'll do those things. Like if I've got a property that doesn't have double glazing, I'll add double glazing because that improves the value anyway. So let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. I think if you're a struggling landlord and you were worried about EPCs, this is good news for you. Do smash the like button, guys. That really helps get the message out on this one. Do subscribe. Check out all the other content on the channel, including this video right here.